Hello everyone and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Whether this is the first time you've clicked onto a video or whether you are returning or you've been here for a while, welcome one and all. Before we get into a reading, I have a very special couple of announcements. They're both free. Very excited because I really like to just be there for you and give you some more free resources beyond Unicorn Light Tarot. So the first one is the podcast, the Unicorn Light Podcast. Episode 10 is live. It is completely up and it is an introduction to moon magic. And it's all the links are down below. Absolutely wonderful. Whether you are a baby witch, a new witch, not a witch, interested in rekindling your love of moon magic, or you're just inquisitive, it's going to give you some healthy tips and beautiful, lovely ways to work with Mother Moon and all of her mysteries. So increase your magic and vibrations for episode 10. Links are down below. And also I have a new 3-day video course and challenge if you decide to go in that direction, and that's on the Unicorn School of Light. That will be linked down below too. And this is scripting for success. Use your words to attract exactly what you want. I have used this method for years, and particularly in the last couple of months, and it's been 2 thumbs up. Everything that I've wanted and I've scripted has literally come true, and some of it's been crazy, absolutely crazy. So we go through 3 days with me, one-on-one, giving you all the tips and tricks, foolproof. You cannot go wrong with this. And then at the end of the 3 days, we troubleshoot everything for you. And then the challenge is integrating it into your life and watching the magic happen. So all of those links are down below. And again, both of those things are accessible. They're free. They're for you. Wonderful. So today we are doing messages from the Goddess Lilith. Really felt as though it needed some Lilith energy to come in, and we're just going to leave this completely open for her to see what messages of, well, it'll be strength, beauty, and transformation, obviously. That's kind of what she stands for. So we're channeling beautiful Goddess Lilith today and all her strength and all her beauty and Mother Gaia. So that's what we will be doing. As always, we have 3 piles. Now, each of the piles has the same amount of oracle cards, and then we'll be moving on to tarot a little bit later on. But I've placed different cards on top for you to just feel into the energy of each pile, whether you go for the energy of the oracle card on top or whether you're going for the color, whatever, however you choose. Your pile is personal and private to you, but I wanted to differentiate on the pile so you had a chance to kind of figure out which pile you wanted. And as always, the more you are aligned with your own intuition and your own love and your own self, the more these readings will resonate. As always, general disclaimer, these are general readings, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If one pile doesn't resonate, feel free to choose another one. Chances are, if you're here, the messages could be for you. If not, check back at another pile or another reading. You'll find something for you. People always do. All right, let's get right into your readings. Take as much time as you need. As always, if you need to pause the video and then take more time to figure out which pile you want to do, which one you want to invest some time and energy into, feel free to do that. So let's go ahead and get right into your readings. As we stated before, if you chose pile 1, this is your reading from Lilith. The Goddess Lilith. We will be starting with your messages of oracle and then moving right in for some more clarifying measures a little later on with the tarot. Let's get right into it. You've got Ascension Lift 39. Prepare for rapid spiritual growth. Be ready for opportunities. Let's see if you can see that gorgeous card there. That's your first card. That's a beautiful card to start off with. Ask and receive. Wonderful. And then you have Deceit, 25. And then you have Watchtower of the South, Summer. Okay, so The first message that we're getting for you, pile one, is that, yeah, transformation, absolutely rapid. In fact, that's kind of the consensus of what's going on, the energy of what's going on. Things are happening sort of a lot more rapidly. However, you've got a grounded sensibility. So whatever's happening for you, no matter how quick the transformation is happening for you, you can handle it. Some of you may be feeling a little overwhelmed, but you can handle it. It's also really important to factor in that whatever path you're on is a path that you've asked for, and you've really been working hard to sort of get clicked into this path. So you're not sort of rapidly ascending off into sort of matter and then trying to figure out where you are. This is an actual path that you're on, that you've asked to be on it, that you've been working diligently in your own way. General reading, everybody's been doing a different thing, but you've been working on it sort of interiorly and also sort of in the exterior too, taking action in your own way. So the path that you're on, that you're going to be transformed into with this accelerated path, this is going to be okay. It's going to be absolutely fine. And, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, again, just sit with the knowledge that you're exactly where you need to be. Now, people say that all the time, and exactly where you need to be can still be uncomfortable, right? There's still lessons for you to learn, blah, 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 and all of that. And that's absolutely true, but that's not for you. You are exactly where you need to be. But also, this is a wonderful place for you to be because it's the beginning of something sort of blossoming. Now, it does require you to have faith. Now, as you move forward and you have baby steps, only a certain amount of information is going to be available to you at a certain time. It's going to be up to you to have that faith and just sort of, it's not exactly like you're blind. The universe is throwing you, for want of a better term, crumbs here, right? So you know the path that you're moving towards. You know that you're on that path. And you have like a little bit of the baby steps moving forward, but you don't have a sort of a grander idea of the bigger steps or the bigger picture. So it does require a huge amount of faith. Now, we can really support you in this. If you try to see the bigger picture or try to figure it out, go in any of that direction, you're going to feel overwhelmed, and that's when you're going to get stressed, because that energy of like not releasing, of wanting to control and wanting to see how this is going to end up, or where you're going to be a little bit down further down the road, which is perfectly natural and human, and in the past for you has worked. You can check in to see if you're exactly where you need to be. That's not going to work for you this time. So it does require this sort of releasing and this faith. You've been working on that though. You've been working on that. And this is something that you're able to do. And again, the universe is meeting your energy with baby steps. You're not completely in the dark. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and feeling a little in the dark, trust, absolutely trust. Now, there's a little bit of a strange way you can tell if you're on the right path, right? So you are on the right path, but you can tell that you are where you need to be and that everything is okay. Now, some old stuff is going to come up for you, right? We don't want you to take that on. We don't want you to, as we say on Unicorn Light Tarot, go down the rabbit hole, more shadow work for you to do. Not at all. This is just stuff, unstuck energy coming up, showing you, maybe shifting your perspective in a little way so you can see what still sort of needs to be released. Again, not a lot of work to be done. So as you're working on this and you're moving forward and the baby steps are happening and you're working on the release, there could be some energy that comes up that sort of challenges you a little bit. Now, the energy doesn't really make any sense. Like the person won't necessarily have a point. It's just their opinion. It's energy. It's coming from a place of darkness and frustration on that person's path and on that person's part. But it's directed at you. You've been, you've sort of triggered them in a way, right? So some of these things can come up for you, and that is just an indication of you're exactly where you need to be. The light is irritating people. And again, it's nothing for you to worry about. And, send them compassion. Everybody's doing the best that they can. They absolutely are. And they're exactly where they need to be too. And if you have irritated them, that's just the way it is. It's not for you to dim your light in any way or back down in any way. And what we don't want you to do, and this is very important, Pile One, is for you to say, oh, okay, well, maybe I'm doing this wrong then if this energy is coming up. That's exactly the opposite. If this energy is coming up, it's absolutely dictating to you that you're exactly where you need to be, and you're just... People are irritated a little bit by your light, and that's going to happen. That's actually an indication that you're doing better than you think that you are. It's not at all for you to get involved in that. Again, it will be just their opinion, which we're going to say they're absolutely entitled to, right? They are absolutely entitled to their opinion. So deal with it with as much compassion as you can and get out. Break the energy and get out. Do not instigate or make it into something that it isn't. This is just showing you where you are, right? And again, this is unstuck energy. If you want to go within and say, all right, well, if this did upset me, why did it upset me? Let me figure out what I still need to release. Don't go down the rabbit hole. There's not a lot to be done. But if there's a little extra energy there that you need to release, that's fine. But don't engage in this behavior. It's just showing you where you are. It's nothing. It's not showing you what you need to work on. Not at all. It's not reflecting that you're going in the wrong direction or that you don't have, your crap together or whatever. Nothing like that. It's just sort of the baby steps are irritating other people. That's going to happen, but actually in life that will happen. Of course, you're not going to please everybody, but it may feel as though it's coming up in certain times. That will sort of dissipate over time. So if it feels like, when you turn your head, something happens and then this happens and something sort of falls apart here, or some, little things that are sort of outside of your control and you're wondering if it means anything, it doesn't. Don't worry about it. You are blossoming. You're exactly where you need to be. It's okay if you irritate people. If anything, what you could do, and again, they're only suggestions, do whatever you feel is right. But what you could do, you could use it as a way to completely solidify how brave and courageous you are for having that voice and for being out there and standing your ground. Absolutely standing your ground. Again, don't get involved with arguments of this, that, because you just get into opinions. You don't want to do that because this is just somebody's opinion. But you can stand your ground and say, this is what I believe. You believe that. That's great. Cut the ties. This is just a way for you to learn how to articulate yourself too and be strong about where you are. In the past, when something like this happened, you might have backed off a little bit because you didn't want to offend anyone, or maybe you were coming on too strong, or you might have second guessed where you were coming from. This isn't about that. This isn't about that at all. Stand strong where you are. And again, this is not a matter of being right or wrong. This is just a matter of you having the right to, say your truth and stand for what you believe. And if somebody doesn't like it, they have every reason to put forward their opinion, and that's all it is. And if you don't engage, it'll back off. The energy will back off. So if that energy is coming up in and around you, you're exactly where you need to be. 2 thumbs up. That's wonderful. So do not take it personally at all, and do not back down. Don't you dare back down. Power One. Again, don't go into an argument, but don't you get back down on the energy that you're putting out there, because it's absolutely fabulous. You've been working on this energy of balance, of giving and receiving, in sort of the practical world, in the actual world, and in the spiritual world, working sort of on the insular with you and your guides, and with the universe, saying, stepping up the physical stuff. This is what I need right now to move forward, to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And the universe is stepping up in small ways at the moment for some of you. In small ways. And we know that, a lot of you have a lot of big dreams and you want to go bigger. So, these may be seemingly smaller steps here that are going on, but the steps are conclusive. They're showing you that you have a firm foundation and you're attracting exactly where you are and what you need right now. It's also showing you that if you stay the game, you don't go over, don't worry about getting overwhelmed. Stay with your truth, stay with your honesty, stay with your compassion and your zing for life and what you do, then that will increase, and that what you will be getting back from the universe will be a lot more than what you're getting right now. It will be increased. So it's all working in your favor, but right now everything is exactly where it needs to be. And even on the smallest scale, you're getting everything covered. You're going to be fine. So if you're like, yeah, I'm getting everything covered, but my goodness, 2 months down the road, this isn't going to be enough. We know that. The universe knows that, and they're working on that. You're not going to keep at this pace. It's going to increase. It's going to increase. As long as you stay and keep your foundation really incredibly strong and stay with your voice and your enthusiasm and keep in that releasing mode. Remember, don't try and go too quickly. It's just baby steps. It's okay that you don't see absolutely everything right now in front of you. You're not supposed to. This requires faith and a huge amount of courage, and that's what you have. So give yourself, a lot of pats on the back for this courage, for being able to do it this way. A lot of people would be very nervous, a lot more nervous than you are, but you're willing to do this and you're on this path. What have we got here? Yeah, we've got the Prince of Wands here. You've got the Rods and you've got the Four of Pentacles. So as we talked about increasing this passion that you have, keep with the passion. Know that whatever you have moving forward, your ideas are solidified. You're moving forward. You've got the kinetic energy. You know what you're doing. Not all of it is fathomable yet. I mean, not all of it's come to fruition, and that's okay. And also, you have everything that you need right now. So it's really important that you don't panic that whatever you have right now will not be enough. Again, in the near future, it will increase. We want you to not project exactly where you are right now into the future. Wherever you are right now is in this moment. It's literally rapidly shifting. So shifting. You have no idea where you're going to be, and like where you're going to be in 2 months' time from this reading. When you look back, you'll be like, oh my goodness. But you have laid the groundwork for this and it's ready to take off. Yeah, you've got the Page of Cups here. And you've got the Queen of Pentacles. Just stay with this energy. Stay with this energy, but also be willing to release it and say, I'm getting what I need in the moment. I have exactly what I need in the moment. As I move forward and I take more baby steps and more becomes available to me, more light surrounding where I am and where I'm going becomes available to me, everything else, my power will increase. My power to bring in what I need will increase. The support is there for you. Use your emotionality to really set into very, very firm cement who you are and what you want to do in this lifetime. And keep that very, very clear in your mind. And don't let anything or anyone else deter you from that. You've absolutely got this. Whatever you have planned, again, you're blossoming into. So you've absolutely got this. And again, these are seeds that you've planted many, many years ago. Some of you from childhood, whether you felt as though you were grooming those seeds or watering those seeds or not, you were, just in different ways. So this is a long time coming for you, this dream that's coming in. And you've been working toward it and you're going to get it. It's going to be fine. Now, a lot of things might be shifting for you. Your outer environment might be shifting for some of you. Again, general reading. It'll look different for each and every one of you. But the one thing that you all have in common, regardless of the general reading, is that nothing really looks the same anymore. Everything is completely different. And you can't really go back to how things were before. And none of you really want to. There was a time when, you would revert back just a little bit, just for that comfort. But none of you are really at that point anymore. So this is a time for you to bask in the glory of where you are. And this is really important, Pile 1, because you can be really hard on yourself, incredibly hard on yourself. And, even if you get like a win, you'll be like, oh, that's great. I got a win. Now what's next? So, when you're trying to project into the future and you're getting a little scared about, not having enough resources and this, that, and the other, we want you to celebrate exactly where you are now. That's it. Stay in that appreciation mode for exactly where you are now. I have everything covered on my end right now. I don't need to think about 1 week down the road or this, that, and the other. Right now, everything's covered. And you know what? That energy brought in that level of support. I did that. My energy did that. I'm good enough to be supported. Of course I am. I've got exactly what I need right now. And from this moment, this point, I can absolutely do anything that I want to do. And we want you to keep that energy and that atmosphere in the present moment, right? And if you do that, you're going to be able to use your power and your emotionality to your advantage. And then you'll be able to take off in so many different directions. And literally, literally do what it is that you want to do. A lot of you, this is a theme for 2022 for a lot of people, especially for light workers coming into their own energy of doing what they want to do for a living, their own, whatever it is that they want to do, and have that take off. This is an element for some of you. Not all of you want to go in that direction, but for some of you who have been working on these ideas and expanding it and sort of melding many different ideas to bring in a larger idea to present to the public, this is something that's going to be really wonderful for you. But it requires energy, and it requires faith and the courage that you have, and staying in that present moment of not trying to, figure out what's going to happen, like even a couple of days down the road. You are on this active path that even 3 days can look different for you, right? A week can look different for you. So there's no point in trying to sort of put yourself into the future, especially with the resources that you currently have. The resources that you currently have are fine for the moment. It doesn't mean that they're going to stay where they are in the future. Have faith in that and hold on to your voice, hold on to your truth and exactly where you are, because it's high vibing it. And again, if some of this energy comes up that's a little bit negative here and there, that's fine. Send compassion to people. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think it's beautiful when everybody has different opinions. Nobody needs to think the same way. That would be a boring world. It doesn't mean that you need to take on the energy though. And again, don't take it personally. It's just a sign that you are exactly where you need to be, right? That's it. And all of this energy too, some of this negative energy, if it does come up for some of you, will dissipate very, very quickly, especially if you don't engage, because it's not personal and it's not supposed to really teach you this long lesson of and boundaries. It really isn't. So don't engage. It will dissipate, but use it as a sign of you knowing exactly where you are. Let's get one more tarot reading for you. But this is wonderful. One more tarot card. This is wonderful high energy for you. And you deserve to be exactly where you are. You've worked incredibly hard on this. Oh my goodness. That's your card. The Magician. You've worked incredibly hard on this. May not be very obvious to everybody on the external, but you've worked internally so hard to figure out your voice versus other people's, to figure out, where you believe you fell short, where you need to do some work. I mean, the amount of responsibility, personal responsibility, and stepping up and courage that you have done just to sort of really release what no longer works, so you are left with your own magic. And how to render that in the world is absolutely incredible. It really is. And it is showing to the universe, even if people are in and around you and they can't see quite or really grasp how much work you've done on yourself, because you're being hard on yourself. You're not quite where you think you should be yet, so you're being hard on yourself. We promise you that's going to be mirrored very quickly in the external. Stay in that present moment. Be very grateful for exactly where you are. The universe is absolutely giving you what you need to move forward. And as everything increases, so will the need, and so will everything that you bring in, that you attract. So you don't need to worry about it. But don't you dare try and put yourself, several weeks or even months down the road, because it's going to literally make your head spin, and it is not worth the effort. Just stay in the light. Take the baby steps, and even, communicate with the universe. What's my next step? I need my next step to be really clear right now, universe, because right now I'm in the dark. You got to throw me a bone here. Tell them, and they'll do it. They will step up. You've got to ask for that help, though. Ask for that help whenever you need. Again, this is a free will zone, including your guides. They don't just step in. You subconsciously, consciously, every cell in your body, you've got to ask for help. So if you need it to clarify the next baby steps, you can keep saying at this point, bless, then do it. Step in, ask. They will absolutely meet you halfway. So that's what we have for you, Pile 1. Incredible reading, high energy. Go be you, for sending you so much love and light, no matter where you are and who you are in the world. And do not forget, we have the new podcast and the 3-day video course, both free, down below. The links are down below for extra support and beauty, and also the website down below too. So check everything out that you need to for extra support if you want to. It's there for you. So we are sending you again a huge virtual hug. You've absolutely got this. Until we meet again. Take care, pile one. Okay, beautiful pile twos. If you chose this pile, then these are messages from the goddess, sorry, the goddess Lilith. Strength, beauty, and transformation are usually her keynotes, so I'm sure they will feature here as they did in pile one. We're going to start off with your oracle and move on for extra clarity with the tarot a little later on. Let's get right into your reading. So you have Samhain and Death. Ooh, I love that. Gorgeous card. Big transformation. Door to personal healing and happiness. And number 34. Ooh, this card's gorgeous. Loving this energy. Soul healing, number 16, or 7 if you put them together. Align with your essence. See your true colors. Gorgeous there. Messages from the unicorns. And then you've got Mother, Father, God. Yeah, you are going through something, there's transformation for you here, big time. Very different energy from pile one, though. This is a really complete shedding of the old. For you, there's an element of, there's always ups and downs and ascensions. You're always growing and shedding in a way. But there's an essence of you, pile two, where you always take a little bit. You always keep a little bit from your past. It's kind of it's such a weird thing to say. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's almost like a serial killer. You're not a serial killer, but it's almost like a calling card, for a serial killer kind of thing. Again, weird thing to say, but it did pop in to my head. So I don't filter anything that comes in. Maybe I should have filtered that one. So it's like every time you sort of move forward, regardless, you keep a little bit of your past sort of for a calling card. It's sort of, it's almost like a bridge to your past. Now, how you use that energy from your past and how you integrate it into your soul is completely up to you. It doesn't mean that you're living in the past in any way, shape, or form, but you like to keep an essence of it. Sometimes you keep it around as, something to show off. This is how I used to be, or this, that, not to people, but to yourself. But this is a brand new beginning. So this is like turning over a new leaf and saying, okay, I'm kind of done with the way everything was working out for me. I'm kind of done with keeping aspects or sort of tokens from my life. And also the way in which you're doing it is kind of beautiful. There's layers to it. People had opinions of you and it wasn't right, but you kept them just in case. You didn't think they were necessarily right, the opinions, but you kept them, again, integrated into your soul at a certain level, because you're interested in what people think. And, there's an essence of you that's open and you want to know what people think. You're very open about that, and everybody deserves their own opinion. That's perfectly fine. I agree 150% there. Everybody deserves their opinion. But you sort of kept this energy around and integrated it, even though it wasn't really true. So it did weigh you down a little bit because you had a lot of appreciation for other people's opinions, even if their opinions were of you and those were wrong. And then you suddenly sort of woke up almost and said, I'm done. I'm cleaning out the junk drawer. I'm not doing that anymore. People's opinions of me really were wrong. And they didn't see me. They didn't know me. It was purely a projection, and I'm done with it. And I don't need to keep it anymore as a reminder or just in case it was true or not true, or just keep it on me. Just because I'm strong. Some of it was a badge of honor. I'm really strong, so I can hold this negative energy for other people because I can get through it anyway. And here's the thing, Pile 2, you're incredibly strong. And yes, you're alchemist, so you can alchemize that energy. And yes, you did fare very well while holding that energy, a little bit of that darkness from other people. You did fare much better than most people would. But you didn't need to hold on to it. And this is something that you've realized, that you don't need to prove how strong you are to yourself or other people. There's an essence of you that was really did you over a little bit about the weakness. You have a high emotionality level. You're extremely sensitive. A little bit more than empaths even. So there was a part of you that might have felt that you were a little bit weak Now, that wasn't true, and that energy was also projected onto you. That could have been an understanding that was in and around you, sort of from family or from society, not on purpose. Nobody was trying to make you feel bad, but that's just an energy that you may have picked up on, and a truism that you may have sort of integrated. You were young at the time. You maybe wouldn't have been able to figure it out. But, and also the other thing is when you were emotional, when you were sort of younger or in certain situations, people didn't treat you very nicely. You didn't get what you needed when you were emotional. So you tended to sort of dumb it down and hide your sensitivity a little bit because it didn't get you anywhere. People either said you were weak or this, that, the other. They were mean. And again, they may not have meant it. They may not have known what they were doing. But in actual fact, and this is not exactly how it worked for each and every one of you, because obviously it's a general reading, but there was some part of you that wanted to dumb down your emotionality, and on a very specific way, figured that your emotionality actually took you further from what you wanted. It's not going to get you anywhere nearer to what you wanted. Now, of course, this wasn't true, because your emotionality is your superpower, but how would you know that? Based on how people were treating you when you showed your emotionality. By the way, we want to be very clear. When you showed your emotionality, it was absolutely warranted. And it's heartbreaking that in those moments you did not receive what you needed. That is absolutely heartbreaking. You weren't oversensitive. You weren't, being dramatic. There was a reason for you showing your emotionality. And it is really very heartbreaking that you didn't get what you needed at that time. Of course you dumbed it down. Of course you dumbed down who you were. That's perfectly natural for you to do. And to carry those opinions of others just in case for whatever reason, right? So you had to figure out yourself, and this is not an easy thing to do, Paul, too. You had to figure out how to use your emotionality, how to get in touch with your emotionality, how to believe in your emotionality, and how to really work through it as a superpower. And that's what you've done. And when you did that, you realized that everybody else's opinions were rubbish. You also realized that when you needed people the most and showed your emotions, people just didn't know how to react. Again, that didn't necessarily mean that these were bad people. It definitely meant, without a shadow of a doubt, that they didn't know how to react to that. Didn't know how to react to you or your emotional level. But you weren't in the wrong. So this is a new connection between Father, Mother, Sky, Mother Earth and Father Sky. This is a new connection with you and the universe because you felt very done over before. This is a new connection with yourself, knowing that nothing that you did was wrong. That's not to say that you've never done anything wrong. That's not what we're saying. Golden child and all. I mean, of course you are. But that you didn't get what you needed at the time, and that was emotionally scarring. And you had to work through that emotional scarring on your own to build this strength. So the strength that you have built is impenetrable. Is that the word? I hope I said it correctly. It is absolutely sky high, and it's incredible. It's like a mountain. You can't move it because of the way that you've been through it. Now, it's hard for us to say that, you had to go through all of that to become this strong. Nobody needs to hear that, so we're not going to say that to you. However, it is true, right? You did go through all of that, but this is a turning point for you where you really do get to throw out the old and go, none of that's real. And when you do that, the energy of that is really different because it shifts your past. It shifts your past. It doesn't mean that you didn't go through everything that you went through, but there's different energy and perceptions around what you went through. So it shifts your past completely. It's almost like everything that you went through, it did happen, but it happened slightly differently, right? It also means that all that energy that's in and around you that you were carrying, where people had different reactions to you and you wondered if they were right, or keep it around just in case you could use it, because you're a researcher. You like to keep all this information around so you can dig through it and get the truth. You now know that there's nothing to dig through. They can all F off, right? To be perfectly, frank, pardon my French. It doesn't matter. These people don't need to F off, but the opinions can go. You don't have to keep them around anymore. There's a new level of freedom. a new level of freedom that you've never really been able to attain before, which allows you to see things differently. It allows you to infiltrate your life very differently, and also gives you a very new communication status with your guides and the universe, which is extremely powerful. Now, it was powerful before, but it was dumbed down a little bit because you didn't know you deserved what you deserved, right? Because this energy was still in and around you. So, you know, a lot of people do cleansings of their past, and that's absolutely fine, but you've reworked your past. The way in which you see it now when you look back, it's going to look different. It's going to look different. It just will. So this is an incredible place to be at right now, Pal 2, for you to be able to perceive your future in a completely different way and your past in a completely different way. Let's get you some more information. So this really is a death for you. This really is a brand new beginning, somewhere that you've never been before. And it's also a place where you can't fathom, because you can't compare it to anything else. And again, you know, you're not going back to sort of the old in a way, because the old is shifted and the perception is gone. So this is kind of a really interesting transformation for you. Let's see what we get for you. And also, this is a way for you to step up in the world, sort of in a new place. Places that you wanted to be and inhabit in your own body, but weren't able quite to get there. You knew they existed. You knew they existed, but you couldn't quite get there because of this other energy, which is now shifted. Let's see what we have for you with death. We have that beautiful Wheel of Fortune there, yeah. And you have that Hanged Man. So it's this gorgeous energy of the Hanged Man. You could have moved at any time, but there was energy in and around you. Again, the way in which you've shifted that energy allows you to move forward in any way that you want to. Now, in the past, you've made moves and they've gone, you know, sort of the Wheel of Fortune, you know, 180, it can go one way or another. And, you know, you've been at certain times in your life where you just wanted to shift and you just wanted to change, you know, even if it was going to be difficult or you weren't really thinking, you were going to do it anyway, one way or another. Even if it was a difficult task to get there, you were going to end up on your own 2 feet. So you've always known that strength that you have. You've always been in touch with that strength. No one's denying that. That strength has always been there, but now you're using it, or you're utilizing it in a different way. And it's a wonderful way to do it, because a lot of that strength you've used to sort of deflect in the past, to kind of keep sane and to keep sort of different modes of energy that you've had in and around you in check, right? And now you don't need to do that. So this energy is clear. You have a clearer path now. You're not using extra energy to sort of protect yourself in any way. So this energy can be used for you. And it's a lightening up and a lightening up. Even things that you were quite afraid of before, like you might have had a little bit of phobias of. We're not saying all of a sudden you're going to get up one day and go, everything's wonderful. It's all bright and light and nothing, you know, nothing bad exists anymore. But even those bigger phobias that you had, you know, you're not as afraid of them. You're like, all right, I totally understand that I was deathly afraid before, but I'm okay with this. I'm getting much better. I'm seeing it differently. You know, there's a little bit of work to do, but that's cool. You're just, the way in which you're working with everything is so much lighter and full of hope. And of course, do what you need to do and look after yourself as you move through this sort of bigger energy. You know, don't put yourself under too much pressure or under a microscope to be perfect or to be fearless, you know, quickly. It's not about being fearless. It's about incrementally honoring where you are. And this is something that you've been able to do recently without sort of the shadiness of the past. And it's just an incredible place to be. Yeah, you've got the Ace of Wands. I love this. And you've got the Two of Cups. Now let's get a little bit more information about that Two of Cups, because you got a lot of passion. And you've got that beautiful truth coming in, and then you've got that balance, which is reversed. Let's see what we've got here. All right, you've got Justice. Let's get one more. There's another message for you coming out. I can feel it. All right, so you've got some stuff going on here. So first of all, the Six of Swords. You have definitely reached this plateau where you're not going back. This is old stuff. So the Eight of Pentacles, there's a new way for you to really build your relationship around what you do for a living, how you are in the world, and the relationships. We're talking about love relationships that you have in the world, right? So all of this kinetic energy that you have around you, all of this passion, it used to be anger, used to be depression, then it came up as anger, and now you've got it as this passion, right? Absolute gorgeousness. Now, it held you back in different ways before. It held you back to be the person that you wanted to be in the world, because you always held yourself back just a little bit, right? It's almost like you didn't want to show everything. Now you're doing that. And also what you wanted to do, how you wanted to earn your living, and the sort of partner that you wanted, right? All of this is on the cards for you. There's nothing that you cannot get, and there's nothing that you cannot attract into your life. All of these three layerings, these aspects of your life are actually coming up for you now, so you can release into a new version of them. Again, see things differently like you do in the past, right? So, and the way in which you will be in the world from now on, and the way in which you do see yourself and see your worth and how you get paid, and the way in which you show up for relationships will be completely different from anything you've ever known. So you cannot compare your past at all to how you've done this. So these are up now with this passionate energy that you have to really shift things along. And you've got that alchemy energy. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's everywhere around you, but it's in these stages, these layers of your life that it's really showing up for. Again, let's get you just a couple more cards. So all of this movement in your life should be showing up for a lot of you. And for some of you, things may be falling apart a little bit. So better things or better situations can come in. Don't worry about that. That's all part of the, temperance. Have faith. And also just be really easygoing with yourself as all of this sort of shifts. These areas of your life, they may be shifting kind of at the same time. Everything and the energy that isn't matching where you're going, and it's pretty high vibe, right? Matching where you're going is falling away. So have some faith. And really click into that energy of where you are. Have some patience with yourself while the way in which you show up for what you do for a living, the way in which you show up in the world using your beautiful voice, and the way in which you show up in very personalized relationships is getting reformed right now in a beautiful way. And you have every say in how this is getting reformed and how you're working with your guides and what the universe is showing you. You have absolutely, this is not like a passive sort of like, oh, we'll just see what happens and we're just releasing. No, you have an active role in doing this in the way that you want to. This is an active role here with this card. It's up to you to do it, but don't push anything and don't force anything. Just stay where you are and just be appreciative of this very moment and listen and watch for the clues from the universe. They're supporting you in this way for new and better relationships to come in. And they're all working on these levels at the same time. So all of this might be happening at the same time. New job, new existence, new way to be, new lover coming in, all of these things. But you don't need to be overwhelmed because, again, your energy has a very strong platform and you absolutely have what it takes to be able to transform your life to this degree in sort of really major areas. So this is all coming in for you. The transformation is based here. And it can be incremental for some of you, and it could be really sort of quick for some of you, depending on where your energy is. But have patience for where you are, regardless of what stage you are in, and know that you're exactly where you need to be. The Wheel of Fortune is on your side. You're ready to move forward. And the timing for this is absolutely wonderful. For those of you who are like, about time, or it's taken too long, or am I really where I need to be? I'm a late bloomer. Don't worry about the divine timing. That's why everything shifts so quickly. You're not going to start from the bottom up. It's all going to be there for you. Some people just work differently, but you'll end up just as far as everybody else who started out further. Trust us. It's not about the timing, but your divine timing is in this blossoming phase to do that. So just stay where you are. Acknowledge where you are. Give yourself a huge hug for the courage and all the work that you've done. It's absolutely incredible. We absolutely see you. The universe sees you. And the most important thing is you see yourself for exactly who you are. And that is an incredible light. So well done. We are sending you so much love and light for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Go be you. Do not forget that we have the new podcast, episode 10. Get into that moon magic if you want to. And of course, the 3-day video freebie course for scripting for success, which you could absolutely use if you want to. Both free resources just for you if you want to, if you feel called to. The links are down below. Go check them out. Until we meet again, Pile 2, take care. Okay, Pile 3, if you chose Pile 3, this is your reading. Again, we have messages from the Goddess Lilith. And her themes are strength, beauty, and transformation are yours. And that's what we've had for the last 2 piles. So those should be coming up again. We will start off with your oracle and get some more clarity as we move through your reading with tarot. Let's get right into your messages. Ritual, invocation. Wonderful. That is your first card. Then you've got take charge and action for your second card. And then you have number 20, Rose Gold Cosmic Pool, bathe in cosmic love, soak up wisdom. You've got some owl energy going in there too. Wonderful. And you've got victory. Gorgeous. Now, this is either 10 or 28. So, you know, we do have this sort of overarching kind of transformational messages, but they're very different energy, very high vibe. So this is something that you guys have been working on to move forward, and there is a victory in your future. Now, it's all about, now the real victory, regardless, because these are general readings, obviously, the real victory is how you've trusted yourself, how you've moved forward. And this is incredible, Pile 3, how you've moved through your fear and done this anyway. Like literally, I mean, well done. It's just absolutely incredible. You know, sometimes we feel as though, you know, we need to be fearless in this world, and that's absolute caca. It doesn't work like that. You know, courage really comes from just doing it anyway and feeling fear. This is something you're not letting fear in any way, shape, or form hold you back anymore. Sometimes you did in the past, but you did that out of protection. That's totally fine. We want to be very clear that whatever you said no to, not really a big deal. It wouldn't have necessarily panned out anyway. But this is very different. You're stepping into a new version of self where you're like, all right, I'm choosing things. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing this. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm doing it, you know. And it's, for some of you, it's a terrifying process. It's an absolutely terrifying process. And it's, again, it's a process that you cannot compare to your past, because, you know, in the past you did let fear in a little bit, and it did sort of seep in a way that you're keeping it at bay here. You're using it in a different way. You're moving forward with it. What you're doing is you're alchemizing it. You're turning that fear into courage, and you're doing it anyway. And you're showing up for yourself with this incredible amount of strength. Now, you've always had an incredible amount of strength, Pile 3. That's neither here nor there. But you've used that strength to help other people. You've used that strength to build kind of castles in the sky, or these dream lives that you have, or, you know, the world, right? To refocus the world in the light worker sense of the word too. And you haven't necessarily used all of that strength inwardly for yourself. You've kept it on reserve for other people. So, and you've also attracted people who have sometimes taken advantage of that. They're takers. You know, they sense that strength and they take it and they use it and they utilize it. And it's left you sort of like, you know, your light a little bit dimmed, you know. But even that, even though you know that you will never go back to being that person again and doing that and sharing your light in that way that it diminishes you. There's many different ways to do this, and this, you know, you still wouldn't change the past. You still wouldn't not help people. You still wouldn't not put people first. You know, now that you're putting yourself first, it's a different shift in energy, and that's wonderful. But you wouldn't change the way that you've done things. And that's an incredible feat. It's an incredible feat to actually look back and make complete peace with your life. You know, it's not to say that, you know, others didn't mess up or didn't mess you up or you didn't mess up, you know. The one thing that we can say about you for the most part, as much as you can, you've made amends for every mistake that you've made. You've really gone out of your way. You don't like messy things. And you also don't like repeating yourself. Like literally, you do not like repeating yourself. You find it extremely boring. If you're on a date and you don't know the person, they keep asking you the same question, right? You're going to punch them in the face. You probably won't do that, but it's going to be really, really irritating. You have a lot more patience with kids. when they ask you the same thing over again. But, after the 60th time, you really are going to put the kibosh on that too. You don't like repeating yourself. So when you've gone through something, you don't want to repeat the same mistake. So in that case, and it's not a selfish way of doing it, you were very conscious of this. You didn't really necessarily, you took hold of that energy and you took complete responsibility of what happened. Now, it wasn't always the right time to go to that person and, make up in that way, but you took that responsibility and you made it up to the universe, even if you couldn't do it to that actual person. So you've taken profound responsibility for your own energy in a way that you've overdone it sometimes. You've overdone it where you've hidden aspects of yourself. In this way, you've got something a little bit in common with Pile 2, but very different energy. You hid a little bit of yourself because you were so conscious of the energy that you were putting out there and wanted to be responsible for it, that you sort of guarded over your energy a little bit, right? Now you have this freedom and you're not, you made complete peace with your past. And on top of that, you're really proud of the way, and you should be very proud of the way that you did your best at any given time. You really did. Now, we can say this with anyone. You did your best at the given time with the resources you had, the mentality you had. That's absolutely true for everyone. But you really did. You went kind of above and beyond. Even if things kind of effed up, you went above and beyond. You really didn't want anybody to be hurt. You did whatever you could. There was a sort of a responsibility there. And again, that responsibility is weighed heavily on your shoulders because you feel it for other people. You feel responsible for the world, for other people, for this, that, and the other. This is something that you had to make peace with too, I say this all the time, especially with my clients, as some of them are coming in, you're not here to save the world. You are here to save yourself. And then, ergo, you can save the world in any way that you want to, but you're not here to save the world. The universe knows what it's doing, regardless of whether it looks chaotic or not. The universe has a perfect system, right? And you are part of that system, but you don't need to take that upon your shoulders. And I feel like this is something that's been said over and over again, especially in the last 2 years, more for light workers and starseeds. But this is something that you really got, you really understood, and you really worked through. And this is really affected in an absolutely glorious and beautiful way, the way in which you step up and work with fear. And the way in which you are moving through it at lightning speed and sort of coming on the other side of it. And as you come out on the other side of fear, again, it doesn't mean that fear is eradicated. That's neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. But you're on the other side of it. You see it for what it is, right? And when you see it for what it is, you see a sort of bright, brand new beginning where nothing's sort of seeded by it. There's no ash everywhere, constantly sort of invaded by this fear type energy, right? You can see things completely differently. And there's a real freedom to move in any direction. As we say here, moving spherically in any direction, but still being very firmly on your path, doing what it is that you want to do. This is a huge victory for you. For you, it may look like a 28. For us, it looks like a 10, which means that you've got there. That's your victory. You've gotten to the sort of the top of the pile. You figured it out. And this is a long time coming. You deserve this victory. And this victory will be one of sort of the foundation for many more victories moving forward. So this is a way that you can really understand your wisdom and your beauty. And again, this freedom from the sort of hold that fear has over us. I always say, I coined the phrase, fear is its own keeper. Once it has you there, it keeps you in a jail. It tells you the same thing over and over again. And it keeps you very insidiously in there, telling you that, if you don't look at it this way, then you're not doing the work. And it tells you all sorts of things, right? Fear is very, very insidious. And many of us don't realize that we're operating from a fearful kind of precedence. We don't get it. That's totally understandable, right? But you get it. And this is a new way for you to connect through it. And a new invocation for you, a new way for you to be in the world, and a new celebration for you. Some of you, this, again, general reading, this can't be for each and every one of you, but some of you are even considering sort of changing your name or changing an aspect of your name, going back to a different surname or something, or a family name in honor, adding a name or something, shifting your name in some ways because you realize that what you've been through has shifted you so dramatically. You need to honor yourself, and the vibration of your name, which is very powerful, needs to shift. So it may not be dramatic like you're changing your entire name, but you're adding something from your family line for some of you to celebrate. And that's a wonderful thing to do if that's what you want to do. You have the 8 of Cups there, and you have the 10 of, you've got another 10 coming in here. What have we got here? And we've got the 5 of Pentacles reversed, and you've got Strength. Absolutely. So this is about really working with your emotionality again, really clicking in with it. And again, moving through the aspect of fear. You can ask yourself so many different things when you're on the other side of fear. What do I truly want? Fear held you back just a little bit. Not enough for you to not realize what you wanted. And also there was a divine timing element too. So sometimes the fear held you back because you knew you felt like it wasn't the right time for you. And you were dead right. You've always been very good with timing. Sometimes you're a little ahead of your time, and who you are and what you put out there, especially if you're artist, might be a little ahead of your time. But that's fine. When you take off, you take off. It's going to be absolutely fine. This is definitely a divine timing for you too. It's also an energy for you to sort of leave behind some of the ways that you did things before, or leave behind what you thought you wanted and kind of level up in a brand new way, right? Some of you, you wanted what you wanted, but you were held back a little bit by an essence of your bloodline. Like, you've got to work really hard to get there, or who do you think you are to be able to dream that big, that sort of thing. You didn't really believe it, but the essence of family bloodlines can be a little bit heavy. This freedom has freed you from that too. So when you realize that that was never really you, and honestly, it wasn't really them. It wasn't really the family members either. It was just indoctrinated based on, what they went through and whatever. But deep down, they know that you're capable of everything and you can do whatever you want. They do. It just, sometimes it's set out of protection. Don't get your hopes up just in case it doesn't work out that way. My life didn't work out the way I wanted. I don't want you to be disappointed. Sometimes it's out of protection. There's no malice here, but you carried some of that. And now that you're on the other side again of this fear, you can look back and say, all right, now whatever it is that I wanted, I do want, and I know I can get, but is that enough? And that's a wonderful place to be at. It's a wonderful place to be at because you get to sort of pick and choose sort of where you are at, where you want to put your energy and how you move forward and what you want to put your energy into. And also it allows you to dream big. Now, you've always been big dreamers. That's not a thing for you. But when it comes to actually action and putting it down, you dream big. And that's why a lot of you are incredible artists. Your imagination, I mean, my goodness, don't second guess it. It's absolutely gorgeous. But when it came to take that imagination, you can put it down on paper. But when the action to get it out there into the hands of an agent, for an instance, that was always a little bit difficult for you. You can do all the, the grandiose kind of imagination kind of take. But when it came to the action of really getting you where you wanted to be, sort of, feet on the floor, action, move forward, that stuff didn't really take off that way that you wanted. And then you started doubting your talent. Your talent cannot be doubted. It's just you had this energy of holding you back a little bit of who do you think you are, that kept you sort of in line, but it never messed with your creativity at all. Even with all the stress and the fear that you were going through, whatever you were going through at the time, never messed with your imagination, never messed with your creativity. It's just a matter of getting it out there. And that was just a very specific sort of example. Each one of you in different creative measures will work a little bit differently. But now you're on the other side of that fear. You can look through that and go, all right, I get it now. I have the strength to move forward. I can do this. My imagination is unparalleled because honestly, Pile 3, it is unparalleled. You can those exercises where people just give you 2 words, you can come up with a 3-version book, 3 installment book just on 2 words. It's incredible how you can go off. And then when you finish that, you'll give yourself a break of a week, and then you can go off in a completely different direction. And you don't really have writer's block, or you don't really have that. There's always something going on in your mind. That's, you can get a little dizzy with everything that's going on. But now you get to really get on the other side of that fear and get into that, take that creative mode, bring it down to earth and market it and put it out there in the way that you want to. And be seen the way that you want to, right? Because some people do actually really acknowledge how brilliant you are when it comes to like the psychic stuff, or the imagination. But for some of you in the family, you might have a reputation for being a little bit lally, or a little bit out there, because they're only clicking onto the aspect of your imagination, which is, incredible, and they acknowledge that. But when it comes down to the grounded element of being sort of like, grounded and out there, and making those actions, that hasn't been quite fulfilled yet. But it was inaccurate to say that you didn't know how to do it, and it was inaccurate to say that you were a little bit woo out there, and you wouldn't be able to do that. Now you're in the state where, again, you're on the other side of this, 2 feet on the ground, action, moving forward in this glorious motion, and really being able to sort of ground the energy of your creativity in this new way, and then bring it to new people. And this is very exciting for you. This is something that you've never been very good at, any kind of marketing or any of this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden it's going to fall into place for you. And this is absolutely incredible. And this is partly because of your energy. It's shifted. Yeah, you've got the 2 of Rods coming in there too. And you've got the 2 of Swords. So you've got 2 ways that you can go in any way, shape, or form. So it's really about stepping into this, this balance of your creativity of where you are, and bringing it down to earth, and having the gumption to really get it out there, and really putting your energy to say, I deserve this. I deserve to be seen for who I am, and I deserve to be making a living and be known for what I do. You already do the work. It's just a matter of taking it one step further. So grounding that energy and really putting your energy into something that you didn't feel as though you were very good at before. And now you will be holding the energy again of that courage and that imagination. It deserves to be out there. Regardless of what it is that you do, you're on a new path. So you can't really go wrong. With this 2, it's like, there's a choice to be made. But you've made that choice. It's just a matter of staying on the other side of fear. Don't let doubts come in for you. And if things aren't taking off quite as quickly as you think, don't revert back to the thinking, oh my goodness, I'm where I was before. Maybe I'm not, don't doubt yourself again. Just come back to that energy of, no, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I've absolutely got this. Let's get you one more. And if that's where you are now, then this energy is going to shift for you. The energy of doubt is pretty normal because you're somewhere that you haven't been before. So you've got the Tower, and it's reversed. So this is like incredible falling through. Yeah, beautiful. And then you've got the Star. So you've got the Tower that's reversed. All of this has fallen away. Now, some of it it's not necessarily this violent falling away, but it's crumbled in a way that's sort of glorious and beautiful, but inevitable, really. You knew this. And what's left with your dream, what it is that you wanted. Again, whichever direction you go in, you're going to be fine because you're on the other side of fear now. But this is the chance to really connect again with whatever it is that you really wanted to do, and have it sort of come about in every way, shape, or form, not just in the imagination, but have it tangible now. Really bring everything that you've done again into fruition and put it out in the world, or the way in which you want to be seen in a different way. Everything that you've wanted is available to you now, and you have all the energy behind you to make it work. Just stay in that energy of patience and beauty, and on the other side of fear. Again, it's not about eradicating fear. You've got that strength and that courage. It's about making friends with fear. It's got a lot to show you. The ego's got a lot to show you too. You're guaranteed a victory, and you're guaranteed a very specific victory, something that you've wanted, that you've been working on. this dream that you've had. For some of you, since you were a child, you've got this and you're here to do this work. This is a time for you to step up and make it happen in sort of a new way, in an inevitable way that you didn't realize was going to be coming in for you. So stay with it. You've got this. Now, the tarot moment, regardless of, for most of you, it's just, you've been through tarot moments before where everything's crumbled. This didn't really happen for you this way, but that's on the other side of it. You've already been through this. Tarot moment is over here. What you're here for, just concentrate on the energy of the star. That's what you are here to do. And it's all of the energy that's in and around you, including your bloodline, is there for support. Ask for help if you need it, to keep you strong and keep your energy solidified. This is new energy that you're forming, again, on the other side of fear. So, this brand new energy is, sometimes you have that childlike energy of, oh my God, this is amazing. Sometimes you're terrified. That's exactly where you need to be. But just reach out for help when you need to. Stay where you are in this present moment and just be grateful. You've absolutely got this. But yeah, new ways to move forward and guaranteed that victory. You've got this, pile 3. So even though I did not do this in pile 1 and pile 2, but I always do this in my mind, huge thanks to our beautiful goddess Lilith for coming in and lending in this channeled beautiful energy of transformation, definitely of beauty and strength, and each and every pile had this energy today. So, profound thanks for Lilith being here today. And of course, we are sending you so much love and energy and beauty for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. If you need extra resources, they are for free. Do not forget that we have the podcast episode 10, Introduction to Moon Magic, which would be wonderful for you, and our 3-day video course challenge, Scripting for Success. All the links are down below. It is a free resource for you. Please go check them out if you feel called to. Until we meet again, pile 3, go be you. Take care. Bye-bye.